Hey everybody, so for our final lab project we're going to be working on this Space Invaders game, which is basically just a game where you have these UFOs and aliens are coming towards the bottom, and in this ship you have to take out all the aliens. You win the game if you take all the aliens out, and if you lose, of course, if the alien either collides with the ship or if it gets down to a certain threshold. Let's go ahead and sort of demo this game first, and then of course I'll go over how to, or a demo, or sort of not demo, a tutorial as to how to at least get started on this program. And of course I'll have some parts where I'll sort of stop and you're gonna have to continue and work on it, but at least I'll go over the basics of how to get this game going. So I'm gonna first, of course, run the emulator. Now, the Windows emulator does not work for some reason when we have multiple image sprites, so either use a Mac emulator or of course use AI Companion on your phone. That will work, but for some reason the Windows emulator does not work with this, or it keeps crashing. Let's try the Mac emulator on this. Let's let it load first. It shouldn't take too long, and I'll play a couple of simulations of this game so you can kind of get an idea of how it works. All right, almost there. Any minute now it should be ready to actually play. So there's the aliens coming down. I can of course drag my ship. If I let it go, it fires a ball. If I push on the ship, I just go ahead and just push on it, it's going to also fire. But if I drag it and let it go, it's going to fire a sort of a ball. I'm going to try to win this one. So the collision detection is not very good on MIT App Inventor for some reason, but anyway, this might be a failed attempt. Yeah, I don't know why it's sort of not. Let's see. This might lead to a failure. Okay, so that led to a failure, so I'm going to hit yes to play again. So it's going to have all the aliens move up to the top in random positions and start this game over again. I don't know why I did that twice, but anyway, so let's go ahead and try this again. Let's try to be more aggressive this time and try to win this one. Okay, so I'm doing better this time around, I think. Kind of hard to control this character, but anyway, we're just kind of dragging it, clicking and dragging it, so it's going to help us position the ship. If I drag it and let go, it's going to fire a shot. If I just tap it only, that also fires it. You only can fire one ball at a time. So once the ball makes impact on one of the aliens or hits the very top, then we can fire another one, as you can see here. So I'm so close. Come on, let's try to get this thing won. Oh no, I might not win this. Ah, no. Well, anyway. I don't know why it does it twice, but anyway. So yeah, that's the game. So of course you would win if, let's say, all the aliens are taken out, you of course would win the game. So I'll try one more time and see if I can win this time. I don't know why that didn't collide right there. So the collision detection on MIT App Inventor is really bad, but it's okay. I mean, what we know, this is the best we've got right now. So of course, we'll just go with it. I'll try to be more greedy and try to take out the ships that are closer to me. Might be the better strategy, actually, if I can hit this ship right there, or that alien right there, sorry. Okay, I want to try to get a win at least. Ah, darn, I think I'm going to lose again. Well, I mean, anyway, at some point, if you play the game better, you would take all of these characters out and then you win the game. So I guess I wasn't able to win, but you get the idea. So basically the way the game starts is we have, I guess, 30 aliens or kind of alien ships, and they're going to be in random positions every single time. And then what's going to happen is they're going to be moving down at random speeds towards the bottom, and of course your ship can take them out. So let's go ahead and stop this. Now let's go ahead and go over how we can actually create this game. So I'm going to just start with a new fresh project, which I just templated this project into a new one, so you don't have to actually, I'm going to give you a template version of this program in class, so you can go ahead and continue off of, and of course follow me in the video and also follow me in class as well. Let's go ahead and get started with that. Alright, so this is going to be the templated sort of project that you're going to use in class, and we will give this to you. So during well, in the beginning of the lab class, we're going to give you sort of the file you can import to get this view. So you have everything set up. So you have your label here, you have your canvas over here, and also the images you're going to use in this project will all be here. So in the example I did earlier, we had a 30 sort of image sprites we use for different types of ships. So I'm going to maybe just have a couple, maybe a few, just so we test this out. So I'm going to go to image sprite. I'm going to drag and drop image sprite into my canvas. And I'm going to drag maybe like 5 of these. This will be the 5 kind of alien ships, I suppose. So here's our 4th, and here's our 5th one right there. You also notice that we had a ball that was getting launched at this, at these alien ships. I'll import that. And then one more image sprite, which is going to be used just for the rocket ship that we're going to use, as you saw in the last example. So now we're going to actually have to add images to all of these. So we have several images to use. So my first one, I'm going to maybe use let's see, I'm going to use UFO2.png. Let's click on that. So I'm going to actually go to my image sprite, site picture, and UFO2. And it's rather big, so we're going to have to adjust the size. So I'm going to go to pixels, make it, let's say 16 pixels, I believe. 16 height, and the width will be 16 pixels as well. Let's see if that actually does anything. And we can see, yeah, it's a nice normal size, the same size as we had in the demo from before. So let's go ahead and add some more images to all of these. So I'm going to set UFO.png, and I set the height to be 16 pixels by 16 pixels. So it's rather a decent size. I think it's a little bit too large. So okay, there's that. Let's go ahead and just add the rest of it. Just keep adding more images here, and just one by one adjusting the pixels. So of course you can imagine for 30 of these it would take quite a bit of time to set this up, but I guess that it makes the game more fun to have more of these. But of course I'll let you kind of do more of these later on. But our application we're going to work on will easily allow us to scale to a bigger size amount of alien ships, because we're going to use a list of alien ships, and we're going to cycle through that list and update their positions on this canvas. So it doesn't matter how many of these we have, how many sort of rockets or how many aliens we have, it will be able to very easily scale to any size amount. So we'll see in a second. So okay, there's, oops, I'm supposed to put the image in here. So I'll use UFO2. All right, so we have all of those, and let's go ahead and just now, I'm going to put a rocket over here. So rocket dots, I'm going to go ahead and click on this image sprite, site picture. I guess this is going to be rocket. It's also a rather large rocket as well, so I guess we're going to use 32 by 32 for a height and width, 32 pixels, and then the width will be 32 pixels. Oh, that's the wrong image sprite. Sorry, I think it's supposed to be maybe spaceship. Okay, perfect. There we go. So now we have our general setup over here. So now we're going to have to actually add the blocks to simulate this game. So let's go ahead and do that part next. Okay, so before I go into the blocks, I just forgot to put this earlier, but for our 5 alien image sprites, I labeled them as alien 01, alien 02, and so forth to make it easy to identify in our code. I also labeled our image sprite for rocket to be called rocket, so it's easier to identify when we actually write our code. Okay, so let's go ahead and now set up our blocks. So the first thing we're going to do here is, well, I'm going to actually create a few variables. So I'm going to at least have, let's see, I'm going to have one variable at least. So I'm going to have aliens. And I guess I'll use a variable. So I think we had 5 aliens. So this is going to basically, every time we basically hit an alien, we're going to decrease this counter by 1. And also we're going to create, so another variable, this is going to be a list, because we're going to actually have a list of, I think maybe we should call it aliens amount, I'll call it, so aliens amount, just so it's we can distinguish them. This will be just aliens. And for now I'm going to just have it as an empty list. So let's go to list over here and create empty list. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'm going to create a function actually to initialize my game, because remember in our game, when a game was over, it kind of reloaded the entire program. So we want to be able to have a function that can automatically get called, and it's going to automatically just initialize it will set up our game to play again. So I'm going to create a procedure. And I'm going to have this as initialize game. And the way this is going to work is that it's going to first, we're going to just kind of add a few things here. So I'm going to first add our image sprites into our list. So I'm going to just go to lists and add items to a list, and our list is going to be called aliens. That's going to be our list. I'm going to add 5 items, so I'm going to click on that gear icon and just drag this over to have, so we can add 5 items into this list. Then I'm going to go ahead and click on alien 1, move all the way to the very bottom, click that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste it couple of times. You can imagine for a very big game, it's going to take a very long time to do all that, that's part of the fun of designing this look, is being able to do a lot of copy and pasting, a lot of tedious work. We're going to add these 5 image sprites to our list. This is going to help us be able to adjust each image sprite's location's X and Y coordinate without having to manually do it using this for each type structure. Okay, so then what's going to happen is I'm going to now do the following. I'm going to use a loop to use a for each item in list. And our list is going to be called, remember, it's called aliens. So for each item in this list, I'm going to assign it some position on our canvas. So to do this, I'm going to go to any components, as we did this a long time ago, I believe, for one of our projects. So I'm going to go to any image sprite, and I want to go ahead and set the X and Y components. I'm going to click on just any of these for right now. Duplicate this. I want to select X and select Y. So we're going to set where on the canvas are we going to put each of these alien ships, if you will. So, oh, it's supposed to be a set. My mistake. Oops. I made a mistake there. My mistake. So it's supposed to be a set block. Okay. So set X, right click, duplicate, set Y, perfect. And then the actual component is going to be, well, an item in our list. I'll put these over here so that those errors will go away. Or it should go away. Oh, because we didn't set the value. Okay. So I want to set some random number for my X. I'm going to go to my math block over here and find this random number block. I'm going to click this twice, duplicate this for X and for the Y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to, I think, between, so the X coordinate will be between 50 to the width of the canvas minus 50. So let's go to our canvas. I'm going to select the width. I'm going to duplicate this and adjust this one to be height. Awesome. So I'm going to select a math block over here. So a subtraction block. So as is 50. Okay. So I'm going to pick some random number between 50 and up to sort of the width minus 50. So basically not to the very rightmost edge, but somewhere less than the rightmost edge. Between somewhere almost to the leftmost edge and rightmost edge, somewhere in between, I want to select some number randomly. Now, it shows 50 and then the whole width minus 50, so that way none of the shapes can be too far to the right, because otherwise this our rocket ship will not be able to actually fire a missile or a ball at a alien if it's too close to the border. So we're trying to make sure it's not too close to the left or right side of the canvas. And then for the height, it's going to be maybe between, let's say, I'll pick 5. And I'm going to go ahead and use a height and pick a math block. And height divided by, maybe by 5. Yeah, I'm going to select 5. So basically, I want to have it somewhere randomly up around the top half, or the top part of the canvas. I'm going to use a floor function because it might give us some decimal numbers. I want to use a floor value, so it's going to just floor it. It's not going to allow it to have any decimals. Remove that. Sort of junk this. Put that there. So this is going to basically set every single element in my list. It's going to set it somewhere randomly on the canvas. And of course, for my rocket, I want to also randomly put that somewhere. Not randomly, but I want to put it somewhere as well. So I'm going to go to set rocket and go ahead and just sort of copy that and duplicate it. I'm going to select X and Y. So I'm going to actually, maybe I'm going to grab this block over here so I don't have to hunt this block down. So I'm going to put it into the middle. So the X will be in the middle position somewhere. And then the Y position, maybe I guess height minus it by 50. Oops, oh my god, put it out here. So it's going to basically randomly put all of our elements somewhere. And of course the ball, I'm going to make it invisible for right now, initially. Let's set ball visible to false. Okay. And then for our screen 1, dot initialize, I'm going to go ahead and put this procedure right here. Just like that. So let's go ahead and test out and see if our program does set up correctly. So we can see here it placed these ships in random spots. And of course, if I wanted to actually, I could sort of refresh the screen to reload the screen and see what it does this time. You can see here, well, once again, it randomly put these 5 alien ships in different spots. If I go ahead and sort of refresh it again, every time it sort of puts it somewhere else. So it looks like it is definitely working. It's sort of putting the ships randomly in different spots. So now all we have to do is we have to basically make it so we can also drag, you can click and drag on this rocket, and also be able to fire sort of a ball at these alien ships. Let's go ahead and do that part next. I'm going to put this back. And I'm going to first just go to, let's see, our rocket. And then we have this dragged. It's the same as from that Pong game from last time. And I want to set the rocket's X position, well, to the current, okay, what's going on here? Current X. Very simple. Let's go ahead and go back to our emulator. And we can see, there it goes. We can drag it just like that. Just like the same way we did with that from the Pong game, where the paddle, we're able to click on it and then we're able to hold it, and then we can sort of drag this thing around. So, okay, so perfect. So far we can see some improvement. So now what I want to do is I want to be able to also fire a ball if I do touch this rocket, which I guess dragging it is also going to, so touching it and dragging is the same exact event. So it's going to be nifty how it's going to work out. Let's go to rocket. I guess touched, I guess is the right, is going to be the event I'm going to use. So when it's touched, I'm going to then set ball 1 dot visible to true. Let's see, there's logic true, like that. And I want the ball to shoot upwards as well. So remember, from the Pong game, we want to set the heading of the ball as well. So the heading will be going straight up. So 90 will be the heading to allow the ball to go straight up. So I'm going to find the ball over here. Let's see if we can find the heading field. I can just click on this and just, there we go. And the heading is going to be set to 90. I'm going to right click and duplicate this. So then the speed, I'll pick 20 for right now, like that. And the ball's initial X and Y coordinate will be the same as the rocket's X and Y. Because remember, it's going to go from where the rocket is. So I'm going to set, I'm going to right click twice to create 2 more of these. So it's easier than trying to hunt down those blocks on the left side over here. I'm going to set X and set Y. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these 2 blocks. I'm going to get the X for this, and then get the Y for that. Okay. So when I touch the rocket, it's going to shoot the ball straight up. Now, of course, what I want to do right now is if the ball hits the very top, very top part, then I want the very top of our screen, sorry. Then I want it to obviously disappear once again. So I'm going to go to my ball 1. Let's see, edge reached. So edge is reached, and of course then set the ball sort of visible to false. And I guess maybe I'll also, just in case, set the speed to 0, although I don't think I have to do this, because I think it'll be 0 either way. Alright, let's go ahead and just test this out. If I click and let it go, a ball fires up. It's not very fast. If I click on this again, it will go ahead and do this. Now the problem here, if I click on this, it'll keep on launching the ball again. So I don't want us to be able to keep clicking on it. I want the ball hit the top, and then only then can we actually click again. So I'm going to have to do the following. So this only happens only if the ball is currently invisible. So I'm going to have an if statement right here. So if ball1 dot, actually I can probably have to get a get block. I'm just going to grab this one right now and then dot visible. Then I'll grab a not block. So if the ball is not visible, only then do all of this. That way, if the ball is currently in motion, it's not going to allow us to spawn the ball again. Once the ball hits the very top, only then will allow us to actually do all that work. So I'm going to now again run this. And I'm clicking on this again and again. It won't let me spawn another ball. If I click, now the ball works. If I click on it right now, I'm clicking on it right now as we speak. It will not allow us to launch more than one ball at a time, which is nice. If I click and drag this and I let it go, it also activates the ball. So, okay, so that's great. So, I mean, of course, we can adjust the speed to be a little faster if you want it to be, but at least so far, so good. So, next step now is we're going to want to have it where if it hits one of these images, these sprites, then we want to, of course, make the sprite disappear. Let's go ahead and do that next. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to have the ball1 dot collided with. So we're going to, when it collides with some image sprite, we're going to activate some type of work here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to say, well, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and do the following, because when the ball first is launched from the rocket, it actually kind of automatically collides with the rocket. So what I'm going to do right now is have the following. So if, so other is going to be what image sprite does the ball collide with. So other is going to be any other sprite other than the ball1. I want to check and make sure if the other is not rocket, that means we hit one of those alien ships. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the rocket block, move down here, grab that, and then compare it to other. So I'm going to say, let's see, I'm going to grab this one, select the not equals. So if the other sort of sprite that ball1 collided with is not a rocket, that means we know it collided with one of those aliens. So I'm going to go ahead and select set other to, let me see, oh, I have to do the following. Oops, I made a mistake. I have to go down here to any image sprite. I'm going to grab a set block. So set visible of component, and the component of course is going to be this other, to false. And of course, ball1 will be also set to, we're also going to have this one become false as well, because that means it collided. And I guess I'll set the speed to 0 as well, just to be safe, like that. Let's go ahead and test this out and see if it actually works. So I'm going to launch a ball. I'm going to try to line this up nicely. I think I missed it a little bit. Oh, never mind. There you go. See, it hit. Perfect. If I go ahead and launch the ball again. Oh, what happened there? That was weird. It just disappeared just like that. Anyway, it looks like it's working. Let's refresh the screen and try to test this out some more. Just see if it's actually working in every case. Okay, so let's try this now. Okay, so it looks like it's working. So it's, yeah, it's working fairly nicely actually. So, you know, we're definitely getting some progress on this game so far. Actually, that's really weird how it just disappeared right there. I don't know what happened there. I may have to like sort of work with this. That's really bizarre, but anyway. I don't know why I let it go and the ball just automatically it just took out that, yeah, just like that. That's really bizarre how that happened. Let me look at my notes I have from my code here. Let me just make sure I'm correct with this. So I set the false, I set the ball speed to false and that. So I'm not sure what caused this to happen because I'm using exactly the same block, same code I used in my example that I did when I demonstrated this game. So I'm not sure what happened there, but I guess, well, I guess we're gonna say it's okay for right now. I'm not sure why that happens. Well, I mean, I guess we'll go ahead and skip this, but yeah, it looks like it definitely is working for sure because the ball speed is set to 0. Maybe I could actually, maybe I can sort of rearrange these blocks. Maybe I'll just rearrange these two to see if that does anything. Let me just double check this one more time. But at least does seem to work. It's definitely, you know, not way off. I don't know what's going on with this. Okay, looks like that might have actually solved it. Yeah, okay, so I guess that solved it. So, okay, well, I guess, you know, sometimes in life you just have to just mess with this until it finally works. That is part of coding sometimes. You just kind of mess with it and then it works. Okay, so perfect. So, all right, so looks like we're able to get this set up where it's going to be able to launch a ball and hit one of our sprites. So perfect. So now we're going to go ahead and have it simulate this game where, okay, these alien ships are going to be going downwards basically, and it's going to, well, what'll happen is, let's say if the image sprite, the alien sprite hits our ship, or if the image sprite gets to the very bottom of our sort of canvas, then the game would be over. And we win the game, of course, if all of them have been taken out. Let's go ahead and just let's simulate the movement of these alien ships. Okay, so in order to actually have these alien ships move, we're going to actually introduce a new concept known as this clock sort of object. So I'm going to go ahead and click on when clock 1.timer. So basically what happens is this block is going to be activated over and over again. Just it's going to keep on working like that. So we're going to allow it so every X number of milliseconds is going to activate this block. So I'm going to actually first go to my initialize game procedure. I'm going to go to clock dot, let's see here, dot set. I think it's this. Let me just make sure I'm correct. A timer interval, that's what it is. So this will allow us to set how often this block is going to run. So I'm going to set the interval maybe to, I think in mine I use 300. So every 300 milliseconds, this clock 1 timer is going to activate. So let's go ahead and just basically do exactly this. So I want to sort of have this clock 1 timer. When it activates, I want all of these alien sort of pieces to move downwards. So I'm going to use a for each item in the list block. The list is going to be get, and of course the list is going to be called aliens. I don't know what that is all about, but anyway. And then what we're going to do is we're going to basically now use this set. I think it's this one right here, the any image sprite. Yep, exactly. And I'm going to do a set. I'm going to set the X, I'm going to set the Y coordinates, sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and set image sprite. I'm going to go ahead and click on this block, the set block, and choose Y. And the component is going to be, of course, item. And I'm going to set it to maybe 5 more. So it's going to go 5 pixels below where it currently is in right now. So I have to first get the pixel amount, or get the y coordinate of this. I'm going to go to y of component or item. Use a math block, addition. I'm going to take this amount, add it by 5. Now, I guess I could, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it the way I did it for mine. So I actually use a random number. So every time it's going to randomly move it a certain amount. So I'm going to go from 0, maybe from 0 to 10. So it's going to pick some number between 0 and 10. It'll add it to this current image sprite's Y position, and it's going to set it to this new value. So for every single alien image sprite, I'm going to move it down a few pixels below. So I take the Y of this image sprite, add some number to it randomly, and then set the Y to a new position. So it's going to actually simulate this downward movement. So every 300 milliseconds, this block will activate, and it's going to just constantly, every item, every alien sprite that we have, it will move each of them down randomly by some amount. Every 300 milliseconds, it will run this block. Okay, let's go ahead and sort of refresh. See if refreshing actually does anything. And look, see, they're moving downwards towards us. So definitely, we of course can launch at it. Now, one update I can do to this is that, because even though we can't see it, the image sprite still exists. So I only want to just add 5 or add some amount to the Y only if the image sprite is not currently visible. So I'm going to actually use an if statement. I'm going to grab an if. So if I'm going to go ahead and group any image sprite, and I'll get the visible of the component, which is going to be item. If it's not visible, so if it's, oh sorry, if it is visible, I'm sorry. I meant to say, so if it is visible, only then are we going to actually modify it and move it downwards. Just so, in case, because there could be some invisible sprites, and I'm not sure if MITF Inventors interface actually moves invisible sprites. So I want to make sure if the sprite is, if it's only visible, only then move it. If it's not visible, then don't even mess with it. Okay. So I guess we can also test this out to double check to make sure it actually works. Let me just go ahead and do a connect and reset or to refresh the screen. And yeah, we can see same thing, nothing's really changed. So of course you can adjust, if you want them to move a little faster, you can adjust, you can make the interval for the clock to be a smaller amount if you want them to go faster. Let's go ahead and just test this out. So what if I put it at 100 instead? Then it's going to be moving much faster at us. So it might be a little bit, it might cause some anxiety reaction when you see all these things that's coming down faster. You know, Jesus, it's coming quick this time. I don't know why that one disappeared just like that. We can, of course, adjust it to have different speeds like that. I think 300, though, is a good amount. Maybe 200 could be a better balance, but you can mess with that amount if you want, just to kind of get a different speed, if you, whichever speed is more your comfort. And of course, you can make the ball move faster as well to make the game more faster paced. You get the idea. So, okay, there we go. So that works now. So I'm going to just probably go over a few more blocks over here. So I'm going to go ahead and just do one more block to kind of determine if the game is over. And also, I'm going to kind of set you up as to how to determine if the game is over in terms of a loss. I'm going to go over a winning situation. And also, you want to write the blocks for how the game is going to lose. And then have this notification bar pop up to allow the user to like replay the game. Let's go ahead and begin that portion. Alright, so now I'm going to go over a case where when the user wins, and it's going to pop up some type of notification bar. So basically, every time the ball collides with a non-rocket, that means it was able to hit an alien ship. So when that happens, well, initially, we're going to have our aliens amount be set to 5. I'm going to actually go ahead and go to my set block and set the aliens amount to 5, because what's going to happen is when our game is going to get restarted, we want to set this counter back to 5 every time we restart this game. So I'm going to put this set block right over here. So every time we call this function initialize game, it's going to every time reset this aliens amount to 5. Okay, so now every time the ball collides with a rocket, or a non-rocket, sorry, that means we took out one alien. So I'm going to go ahead, grab a set block, a get block, aliens amount, grab a math block over here and use a subtraction block. I'm going to put this all over here for right now. So we're going to set the aliens amount to be whatever is in currently aliens amount subtracted by 1. Because that means we have one less alien after we took out an alien. So when a collision happens, well, then we're going to do this. And then we're going to check and see, well, is the game over? So I'm going to go ahead and say if let's say this aliens amount equals 0, that means we know we won the game. So I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to copy a few of these. I'll have to like refine these, and of course copy this as well. So I have to like look through all that. It's kind of a pain to go through that little toolbar on the left side and find blocks. It's easier to duplicate blocks instead. So if that happens, that means we know the game is over. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, I guess what we could do is set the clock 1. We can disable the timer, I guess. We don't have to do it here, but I guess it's a good idea to disable the timer as soon as we know the game is over. So I'm going to go to timer enabled, so set timer enabled to, and of course we're going to select the false block up here. So it's not going to adjust. So because remember, the game could actually be over because we lost. So you want to go ahead and stop these aliens from moving. Now, of course, in this situation, there's no more aliens left. So of course, none of them would move anyway. But it doesn't hurt to set the timer to disabled. So that way we're done with this. And I'm going to go ahead and select this notifier block. Let's select this show choose dialog. I'm going to have a false for cancelable. And in the message, we're going to have to we're going to pick a few text blocks. I'm going to go ahead and just sort of drag one and just copy it a few times. I think 4 times, okay, or 2 more times. So message is you won. That's the message. Oh, sorry, that's the title. I'm sorry. Message is, do you want to play again? Question mark. That's the message. Then we'll have 2 buttons, a yes button and a no button. Like that. So there we are. And of course, now you want to have a case to handle if they clicked yes or no. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my notifier and select, let's see, this one after choosing. And then our choice, well, we're going to say if the choice equals, and then text yes, then they wish to continue with this game. That being the case, I'm going to go ahead and just call the function initialize game, which is going to basically run this entire block. And I guess I'm going to have to add one more thing to this. I want to set the timer back to enabled. So timer enabled, and set it to true. So I'm going to, with my logic, true block, put that right there. That way it's going to enable it after, so that's all we have to do. Pretty simple. Then for the else, I guess we could end the game, but I don't think the app inventor is able to handle this scenario, but I guess I'll just do it anyway though. There's a control to close screen or close application. So I'm going to click on one of these two, which will close application. So if it didn't hit yes, it means it hit no, so close the application basically. So let's go ahead and let's look into this now. So I'm just gonna simulate this once. I'm gonna go ahead and then just set up, add one more block here to kind of help you get started on how to handle a losing case. So of course I'm going to refresh the screen. Let's see if I can. Oops! Oh, it's going kind of fast. Okay, let's go ahead and see if I can win this. I don't know why it doesn't like. Anyway, there we go. So I won. So I don't know why there are moments where it didn't shoot the ball. It just automatically took it out like that. I'm not sure what happened there. But anyway, now it pops up. You won. You want to play again? I'm going to hit yes. Oh, I think I know what my mistake was. Okay. I have to make sure all of these are enabled or are all visible again. So that's what happened here. Let's add this last component and then let's go ahead and try this again. So any image sprite. I'm going to select the set. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and copy the item. And then, of course, logic, select true. This is going to set every single, so every item in my alien. So every alien sprite, each of them is going to set them to true. So this block is going to go through every single image sprite we have. That's an alien image sprite in our list. And it's going to set them all to true. So that was my mistake. Let's go ahead and try this again. Let's try to win this, hopefully. Okay, time to go fast. Okay, act fast. Think fast. That's not too bad, I guess. I think I can win this. Yeah, maybe I spoke too soon. Oh no. Come on, come on, come on. Yes. Just barely won that one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit yes, and it's going to restart the game. And why isn't it restarting it? Let's take a look and see what's going on over here. Let's try it one more time. Let's try it. Now I'm going to have to have to skip ahead probably and see what I'm doing wrong. Let me see. So it looks like everything seems okay over here. I may have to reassign my list. That might be what I have to do. So I may have to go ahead and set I think I might know what's the problem here. Let's see if this works. If not, I have to start this part of the video again, I guess. Let's see. So alien, set it to an empty list. Okay. Let's try this. So I refresh my list. I cleared out, and I'm going to go ahead and reinsert those image sprites here. Let's see if that fixes the problem. I have to go ahead and try to win this game again. I think I can do it. I can win again. It's all about perseverance. It's all about practice. It makes perfect. Let's go ahead and just... I don't know what's going on with why is image sprites getting taken out like that. But at least, hey, it was lucky for me. So, okay, I won again. Let's hit yes. And again, it's sort of not doing that. It's not setting in the right spot. Okay, so I think I found my problem. It's been a very long few months of this semester in school for me, so I'm having a hard time focusing. The problem I did was I was supposed to set this to visible instead of to enable. That's the reason why it didn't come out correctly. Let's go ahead now and play this game one more time, and then go from there. So I'll refresh the screen. Okay, so obviously it works the first time through. Let's go ahead and just, I put the speed 300 this time, so that way it's easier to win. Okay, and it gives me this pop-up message. I'll hit yes, and you can see there everything's all loaded just fine. So that was the only problem I had. So I guess just, you know, me just not focusing. Focusing is also an important part of coding, so you want to always focus. If I hit no, it doesn't actually, you can't really close it, but I guess it would just end the program in that sense. So that's how we handle that. So now I'm going to go ahead and sort of add some blocks in here for you to kind of get going on how to handle a case when a loss happens. Alright, so the last few parts you want to do is the following. So I added a few extra, I added this extra sort of event as well, and some reason there were, I don't know what happened. I don't know why MITAP Inventor is strange about this, but what I did was the following. So I have a rocket dot collided with, like this, and basically what we want to do is if the rocket collides with something, so this other, basically if it's not a ball 1, that means it collided with one of the alien sprites, so then the game obviously has to end that way as well. So that's going to be losing situations. You have to basically, you know, disable a timer, notifier, same idea, just like that. And also, what you want to do is your timer right here, if your image sprite in this list is actually touches the bottom part of the canvas, it leads to a loss as well. So you have to figure out, well, what's the y coordinate value that you have to have for this event to occur. So you have to basically handle this case where if the rocket collides with anything other than ball 1, and if one of the items in this list actually hits the bottom, so its y coordinate is somewhere at the bottom, it leads to a loss. And of course, you can of course add more image sprites to your game, and it's going to work the same way no matter how many you have, because we wrote nice scalable code. So scalable code means we have this for each item in this aliens block. So whether this aliens is five elements in this list, or 20 or 50, this block is going to cycle through every image sprite in our aliens list. So it doesn't really matter how many aliens we have, this block will go through each of these and will adjust each of these image sprites of alien to a new value. So you have to, of course, if you had more aliens, you have to add more items into your list, like that. And then these blocks will kind of auto scale to the size of this list, because we're using a for each block. So it's going to go through every element in your list. If you have 10 elements, it'll go through all 10 elements in this list, and so forth. So it's kind of nice. You can add more to this to make the game more fun. And of course, you have to add one more if statement at the very end, which I'll kind of put this here for you. So you want to actually, well, you want to have another for each loop, and check every single item. If one of them, its y value equals the bottom position of the canvas, that also leads to a loss. So I guess that part you can kind of work out on your own. And of course, I didn't really go over the fact that what if, you know, we want to actually update our score. So you want to show how many aliens are left and decrement it by 1, and show the updated label every time we actually were able to take out an alien in this screen. So of course you also can add that as well, but for the most part the logic is there. So hopefully you're able to follow along with this, and I guess that's the last lab for for this MITF Inventor session. So hopefully this lab was fun to follow along, and overall it's a fun type of a game. So I guess till next time, take care.